In this video, I will explain you 5 different footwork techniques that is very common that might lead to an injury and how you can prevent them. The first one is very normal and having a lot. It's when we are down here, do a scissor jump and we land like this. Both our feet is pointing forward, and when that's happening and I have to run forward, I might snap this Achilles tendon, or this tendon that goes here, which might give me 8 months of recovery. It's very usual that we are under heavy pressure and we have to go down here, do it like that, and then we move forward afterwards. So in slow motion it will be like this, and then we go forward. That might lead to an injury. What we have to do instead is when we land with our foot at the back, in my case my left, slightly twist to the side. Then I can push forward with this area. And that's basically where the power is. It's not on the toes, or it would be nice if I was able to do that, because I would be able to push harder, or I might risk an injury. So instead I twist slightly so I can push using just what's under my biggest toe. The next common footwork mistake that might lead to an injury is when we are going to the front corners. When we arrive at the front corner right here, our foot is not pointing towards the direction we're heading in. So that means in this case I might snap the ankle like that. And that hurts a lot and can take a lot of recovery, depending on if you just twisted your ankle or you maybe broke your ankle. So, and the foot is always under heavy pressure because it has to catch all our energy when we're arriving at the corner. So instead of me coming like this and might snap my ankle, I'll have to make the foot point towards the direction I'm heading in. So in this case, it has to go that way. That means when I arrive here, the foot can actually catch my movement here, and I'll not twist anything. That is also a very common mistake, just to make this foot always point in the direction we're heading in. It's totally the same in the backhand corner. Just in the backhand corner, come like this. So also the same way and not like that. Always the same direction. And the third thing that also might lead to an injury is just when moving around on the court. We need to make small steps all the time to adjust in which direction we're heading in and with how much power and all of that. But sometimes these small steps tend to be huge, and that puts a lot of pressure on our knees, and that can sit in your knees and cause a lot of pain for a very long time. So instead of moving all around the court like jumping like that and coming forward like sounding like basically just like sounding like an elephant all the time, it put a lot of pressure, especially the ankle, the knee, the hip, and especially the knee and also your lower back. So if you have troubles in some of these areas already, make sure that you're not sounding like an elephant when moving around. Instead, try to be silent and still fast. So that means instead of doing this, going forward, I should try to make it more silent. So it'd be something like this. Much more silent. I'm not going to put so much pressure on the court. So also in the defense, sometimes when a player does a lift, they go back here to do the split step and they do like this. And then they're ready in the defense. Instead of making the lift, go back and then just make this small step instead of doing this huge unnecessary jump. Also takes a lot of energy to jump all the time. So if you're exhausted, it might be because you're using your thighs a bit too much or jumping like I just showed you. And that actually brings me forward to the next thing I want to talk about. And that's sometimes that our footwork can ruin our hip or our lower back. We simply forget to move the feet before our body moves. That means if I have to go to that corner, I begin just to rotate here and then my feet comes after, or I will begin to go to that corner without using my feet, and that might used to a lot of unnecessary twists around this area. So instead, if I'm going to go to that corner, I need to start placing my right foot forward to push, so my feet is actually always the first thing moving. Sometimes, obviously, we have to react fast, and that's also sometimes in that cases where the injury happens. That's the small reaction movement that we have nothing in control. Maybe I suddenly have to block a shuttle over here, then I can feel it here. But if I had the time, I should block it like that, because then I can also control it, instead of just throwing my body around and might cause anything happening around my lower back. I have had a lot of issues and problems with my lower back, and I had the tendency to block much like that, and did forget sometimes to move the feet first. So that means if I had to go to this forehand corner, I'll do like this, twisting my whole body around instead of just moving the feet first. It would be much easier for me to go. And then the last thing I want to talk about getting this injury is when we are at the forehand corner or at the front corner. And then when we reach the shuttle, our knee gets over the foot. So that means right now I am solid. I put half my weight on the ankle, but right now my weight is transferred to the front of my knee, and I might risk an injury in my knee. So that means when I'm going to this corner, I should try to stay down like that and keep my foot in front of the knee and do the shot and go back. I should not do like this, taking this bit smaller step, then go over here and lose my balance. Because if I do like this, I can feel it in my knee right away. That's also a very common injury if your mobility isn't the best. So that's 5 common mistakes that might lead to an injury, and also how you can prevent them. If you want me to analyze your game, your footwork or anything like that, just remember to check out my products on shuttlelife.com, and I'll make sure to look and give you some personal feedback. Thanks.